Greetings, super friends. Welcome to another edition of Technically a Conversation. I'm one of your hosts, Isela, and joining me as always is the lovely Jose. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good. Guess what, Jose?
I don't know. I was going to say poke your butt, but I'm sure that's not what you meant.
Poke your butt. No. But way to bring it back.
Bringing back the classics.
Yeah, exactly. Next, we're bringing back Grody.
I think you brought that back because I heard you say that in a couple of episodes.
It's still a fave. What I was going to say is that we have crossed 1,300 listens. What? Super awesome.
Very awesome.
That whistle had a lot of heart this time. I appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah, it was a low energy whistle like the last one.
No, thank you.
So thank you very much, Super Friends, for allowing us to cross that milestone.
Yes, I want to thank each and every one of everybody who's listened and spent at least 20, 30 minutes with us. So I appreciate it. Wanted to remind everybody that we do have that contest going on. So you can help us grow our listener base by leaving a review. And thank you to everyone who has already left us a positive and shiny, lovely review. What should they do, Jose? Give them the deets.
The deets are very simple. Just leave us a review and send us a message through either Twitter or Instagram or Facebook at GreetingsTAC, and you'll be entered to win one of our lovely t-shirts in our drawing.
Yes. Be the envy of all the family and friends.
That's right. It was recently announced that Spotify is going to be allowing people to leave reviews. So if you're a Spotify listener, and we know we have a lot of listeners on Spotify, please leave us a review. They're going to be rolling it out. It wasn't available for me. I just went in there just to check to see if I could leave any reviews. It wasn't available for me yet, but check. Take 2 minutes while you're, sitting on the can, doing your thing. Leave us a quick review. Send us a screenshot, and you'll be entered into our contest.
Yes. Moving on to our shout outs. We have a brand new super friend, Ruby M. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome, Ruby.
Other shout outs are our loyal super friends, Erica and Elena. We so appreciate you sharing our stories on your socials. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yay. All right. So New Year's Eve is so close, I can almost taste the confetti and regret. Do you have any plans?
My plan is always to sleep in, but that rarely happens. Normally we just get together with our family, though. What about you?
I don't think I have any plans, really. I mean, other than just, probably hanging out with my parents and making sure that they're okay and ringing it in all silly with probably some more photo props like we did last time. It was fun.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun.
At first, they kind of wince at the photo props, but as the bourbon and the whiskey or whatever it is happens to continue to flow, they're like, all right, give me one of those silly, stupid hats. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, normally we just kind of sit around and watch my dad watch TV. It's normally our New Year's.
Do you have any memorable ones?
I mean, I guess they're all memorable because we're all with the family. It's fun, all of us getting together.
Yeah.
But you know me, I'm not very big on celebrating anything, so.
Yeah, I think you celebrate when the season, the next season comes out of certain things more than anything.
Whenever Zack Snyder releases a new movie, that's when I celebrate.
Oh my God. It is a celebration for you. I'm going to share one of my most memorable New Year's Eves because this was very near and dear to my heart because this was a lot of fun. A very long time ago. This is pre my daughter. This is years and years ago. In fact, I just admitted to my mom what I did in this first car that I had. It was lovingly called Beto. He had a name.
Did you pop a wheelie in it?
Very close. Get out of town. Very close. So there was a New Year's Eve party, and it was on the east side. And it was snowing, and it was cool because nobody was out, and it was fresh powder, And one of my friends, who shall remain nameless, taught me to do one of those things where you put the car, you're going, you throw it in neutral, and then you pop the handbrake, and then you kind of spin out. Dude, I kept doing that over and over again. Oh my God, I felt like the missing cast member of like Fast and Furious, the Mexa edition, you know?
The Mexico drift over here.
Mexico. Yeah, exactly. The Chuco drift. But anyway, so that was my fun New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that's definitely more exciting than I think anything I've ever done in my life.
Same. And I don't know what can really top that. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So anyway, going on to what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to ask you a question.
Hopefully I'll have an answer for you.
Yeah. See if you can notice what these things have in common. Pedialyte, Gatorade, Menudo, hair of the dog.
Oh, they're hangover cures?
Yeah. Look at you with the brains.
Not just another pretty face, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. Today we're going to be talking about hangover cures. Cures, air quotes, because obviously there's not like a cure. But because I love our super friends so much, I thought it would be nice to give you some real practical knowledge you can use. Although I don't want to discount using, did you know Barbie was originally a cartoon call girl as a pickup line? That might actually get you somewhere. But maybe less fun facts and more fun knowledge type of thing that you can really use. So the first half, we're going to really be talking more about hangover prevention tips. And then the last half of our show, we'll really be talking about hangover cures.
And the third part will be drinking games.
Yes, drinking games, how to get there faster. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so you can apply the knowledge that you acquired.
Oh my God, that's so awful.
No, I was kidding about that last part. There won't be a part 3.
That's so funny. All right, are we ready to dive on in?
Got my bathing suit ready, girl. Let's dive on in.
Yoo-hoo!
Into that barbecue sauce for the knowledge nugget.
That's right. These knowledge nuggets coming in hot. So let's start off with just laying out some of the variables that, of course, are always going to play a factor that we're all pretty much aware of. Weight, how fast you drink, what you ate, and when your last meal was before you started drinking, and how often you drink. If you only drink like once every 6 months, of course, that's also going to play into how you're going to feel the next day. All of these things are factors. We're not going to talk about each and every one of them. I do just want to highlight a couple of them for the sake of the brevity show, because this podcast is only 30 minutes, right?
That's our goal, at least.
That is the goal. That's true. So the two I want to keep in mind, that I want you guys to keep in mind, one of them is how fast you drink. You really want to stick to 1 per hour. And the reason for that is most of us, our liver can actually break down 1 alcoholic drink per hour. So if you try to stick to only 1 an hour, of course, you're going to finish faster than the hour because it's probably going to be super delicious, right? But this is going to lead me right into the other thing the other tip that I would like to highlight. And it was something that I had read in a Mayo Clinic article and also a Johns Hopkins article, is to drink water in between your beers or your cocktails. So to make up your full hour, have your drink, order some water, and hopefully that should take you through an hour. And then you can kind of rinse and repeat type of thing. The easy to follow science behind this tip is the headache that you feel the next day is mostly because of the dehydration. And your brain does shrink a little. It's totally crazy, but yes, you do lose volume.
Mine shrunk a lot.
That stinks. I feel partly responsible for that.
I did it on my own.
The reason for this is because alcohol is a diuretic, which is basically meaning that it makes you pee often. Or as Jose calls it, make the pee.
I do call it that.
Our third prevention tip is avoid drinks that are high in congeners like whiskey, cognac, tequila.
Those are the good ones, too.
I know, dude. I love old fashions. Oh my God, so bad. Bourbon whiskey, much like 6-inch stripper heels, is sky high in congeners. So I would say maybe in that one particular day of New Year's Eve, maybe you want to swap out the yummy old fashions or Manhattans and just order a gin and tonic or really anything with vodka. Clear liquor will kind of keep you in the clear. sort of, right? Just don't drink too fast and make sure you have a good meal before. Again, all with moderation. I don't want to hear any hate voicemails. This is going to be the one time we get some hate voicemails. I'm just kidding. Fourth prevention tip is to eat while you drink. If you happen to be in a place where food is not served, make sure you eat before you drink. According to a Healthline article, 15 best foods to eat before you're drinking alcohol, here are a couple of suggestions. Eggs, because they're rich in protein and they can delay alcohol absorption. I didn't even know that. Avocado is another thing that you can eat before you drink because it's so high in fat, the good fat, of course. It takes much longer to digest and it slows the absorption into the bloodstream as well, the alcohol. So it sounds like they're basically telling us to have an omelet before we start drinking.
Well, I guess I'm out of luck because I'm not the biggest fan of eggs and I'm allergic to avocados. So that's why I eat the bad fat versus the good fat.
I remember you ordered an avocado and an omelet not that long ago.
That is true.
It is a rare thing, but maybe it's just going to be a New Year's Eve thing then.
I have to be craving egg to eat it, but normally I don't eat egg.
Oh, well, I'm sure the eggs are not entirely...
Yeah, they're not upset about it.
Not offended by it. All right. So this is probably a good time to cut to a commercial. And then when we come back, we'll round it out with the last tip and then straight on into our hangover tips to kind of get over them quicker anyway.
And we got a new sponsor. It's I Can't Believe It's Not Eggs. No, actually, it's not.
I doubt that.
You don't have to go through a boom tube to get a Gradney Goodness tube steak. 100% beef for 100% goodness. We have something to please even the snootiest of appetites. Try our classic hot dog or hot sausage for something that's filling while on the run. Or our beef patty when you want to enjoy your meat snack with two hands. And for our vegan friends, our hot pretzel is sure to satisfy. Our prices are something your wallet will also like. The all-beef Granny Goodness Franks are only $1, 2 for $1.75, and the hot sausages are only $1.50. Price and participation vary. Tax not included. See our food cards for details. Serving the greater Central City downtown area. Member DCEU.
Welcome back. During the break, you know what I was thinking about?
But the hot pretzels from Granny Goodness hot dogs?
I don't really like bread that much, but I really do like a good pretzel.
It's got the good fat also.
Oh, I bet it does. I bet it gives you the good fat too. So one of the things I was thinking about, since we're talking about like drinking and stuff, this always makes for good conversation. When was the last time you said, but I can only have one drink, and then bam, the sun was rising and you were barely driving home or something?
I say that every single day.
Wow.
No, I don't remember, but I usually don't drink as much as I used to now. So normally I'll have like 2 or 3 beers and after that I'm okay. I mean, I already told my story about when I passed out in the toilet, so I usually try to avoid that happening.
Yep.
What about you, Isela? Confession time, girl.
Confession time. I know I've said that before, but the one thing that comes to mind with that particular phrase, only because these pictures came up, there's photographic evidence, sadly. The Genster and I, we went to Austin for South by Southwest, and we met up with one of my dear friends from middle school. And although it was technically a school night, he was gracious enough to still meet us for a drink. But he did say, I can only stay for 1 or 2 drinks, like max. And so after I got us tequila shots and like all this other stuff, and there was this really good band playing. They were called the Spasmatics. Everyone was dancing, and somehow we ended up at another bar, and then they were doing karaoke there. There was some random people doing karaoke. And of course, by then, I was already pretty tipsy. I remember telling Jen and my friend, I was like, they need a backup dancer. I'm going to be their backup dancer. I'll be right back.
I love doing karaoke. That's like one of my favorite things.
Isn't it fun, though?
It's a ton of fun.
Anyway, he got home very, very late. And sadly, my friend did not stay for 1 or 2 drinks, basically.
But how beautiful was the sunrise?
The sunrise, I'm sure it was great. If I can remember it. Que vergüenza. No, I'll show you the picture too because it's really funny.
Cool.
So story time is over.
Oh.
Especially because it never paints me in a good light. And yet I still keep sharing. I'm just kidding. The fifth and last tip, an article on health.harvard.edu also suggested vitamin B and zinc. So if you take vitamin B and zinc before you go out for drinks, apparently you will have a less severe hangover. The details about this, let me share them. A study was published in the Journal of Clinical Medicine where the diets were studied 24 hours before drinking and after. It was really excessive drinking is what they labeled it as. They found that diets that happened to be higher in zinc and vitamin B did have less hangovers. So less severe to me, I don't know, sounds like maybe you're just going to wake up instead of like waking up and being like, gee, now I'm going to quit drinking or whatever. It's just going to be like minimized to like, I'm quitting drinking for a couple of weeks. It's kind of what it sounds like to me. I don't know.
I want to know how I can be a part of one of those studies. They sound really fun.
I know. How do they, like, do they log it in? Do they come, do I go over and they like just get us all sauced up? That'd be really freaking awesome.
You know, my sister, she told me she did something like that. One of her friends was in the police academy. And I guess part of it is that they make you drink and then they have like an obstacle course that you have to try and drive through. I guess so that they could see like how each drink affects your driving.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, my sister said they got pretty saucy.
That's hilarious. And that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of fun.
That kind of does. Yeah.
We should show up one of these days so you can do your spins or whatever.
Dude, for real. Sadly, my car right now doesn't have a handbrake like that. So yeah, I have to find one first. Let's see who wants me to ruin their vehicle, their tires. Just kidding. If you happen to wake up January 1st, cursing at the sun like a vampire or hissing at them like the Lost Boys type of vampire, you know, not the twinkly like Twilight one. So what can you possibly do to get through the hangover quicker? Allow us to share some cool tips. Just before you go to bed after the heavy drinking, drink a big glass of water. You want to bring up your hydration. And this is actually not a bad idea to eat a little something before you go to sleep. Science behind that is the food will actually help bring up your low sugar levels. Absolutely, though, do not take Tylenol with your water. I would like to repeat that up close. Do not take Tylenol. The reason for this is, you know, your liver's working hard for like cleaning out all the toxins and, you know, doing all that stuff it normally does. If you throw in something really hard on your liver like Tylenol, it's just going to really overexhaust it. Aspirin is absolutely okay, but definitely no acetaminophen. You've been warned. Drink Gatorade or Pedialyte, as this will help you get back to a more hydrated state quicker. And it'll also bring up your electrolytes, etc. Gatorade also happens to have a lot of sugar. So normally I would say stay away from Gatorade because it's not exactly healthy. But during a hangover, your blood sugar levels are really low. So this is actually going to help both the hydration and your sugar levels at the same time.
And sugar tastes good.
Sugar tastes fucking delicious. It's so sad. It's so sad. Yes. That it has to be so bad. Coffee or tea was also suggested in an article on the health.harvard.edu site. Although it did admit that it didn't have any special anti-hangover powers, but because it's a stimulant, it can help with the grogginess that you feel. Plus, I'm always going to plug away coffee and tea. It like warms my insides. Who doesn't want that?
Coffee is delicious. I love it.
Right? Well, I know you have that daily.
Yep.
I try not to. I learned my lesson. The spontaneous Spanish lesson for today is que vergüenza, which translates to how embarrassing. And especially since we're talking about alcohol, I thought this would be the most fitting phrase for us. We certainly hope that you don't have to use that too often because that means you went through something embarrassing. And especially after a heavy night of drinking, it goes hand in hand. That's just what happens. That concludes the 5 different articles I read for all of you guys. Oh, and one YouTube video. We hope that you enjoyed the tips and the stories. If you happen to like our show, please make sure you leave a review. And we hope that you join us again next week. Please tell a friend, subscribe wherever fine podcasts are out there for you.
Yeah.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the socials at Greetings TAC, or email us at greetingstac@gmail.com, or leave us a voicemail at 915-317-6669 if you have a drinking story to share with us.
You know, Isela, my car does have one of those emergency brakes, so we could take a couple of drinks and try and flip it over.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm kidding. No, it's a bad idea.
That's a really bad idea.